Okay, guys, so today we're doing a kind of head-to-head review against GoPro Hero 4 Black, the DJI Osmo, and the Sony FDR-X3000 camera. All the footage here is completely raw, so no editing has been done other than to kind of trim the sides and everything, of course, to compare the different cameras side to side. Everything was shot in 4K and at 30 frames. Um, so on the left, we have the GoPro footage. In the middle is going to be the basically industry standard, the DJI Osmo, and then we've got the Sony camera on the right. Of course, the GoPro does not have any stabilization. The DJI Osmo obviously has fantastic stabilization because it's got a gimbal. And the Sony camera has the B.O.S. system, which is balanced optical steady shot. So obviously here, this is just the GoPro on the left and the Sony footage on the right. There's a huge difference. I guess I never realized just how wobbly and crazy the GoPro footage can look. But this is pretty bad, and the Sony does an amazing job keeping everything nice and steady. So here we've got just the Sony FDR-X3000 footage, and it is freaking amazing. Sony has their B.O.S. system, which basically is the lens and the sensor of the camera that move together, basically to counteract shake and wobble and jiggles and everything else, and it works really well. Obviously, on the outside of the footage and everything on the corners, you can kind of see a slight warping and everything going on. It's pretty minimal, and it does a fantastic job, walking and jogging here in the Okay, so now on to the GoPro footage. This is the Hero 4 Black, so there's no digital or optical stabilization going on. It's it almost makes you sick with how much uh, vibration and shaking and changes going on in the scene. It's almost unwatchable, especially after you compare it to the Sony. Um, uh, GoPro has been the industry standard for a while now, um, but Sony's new, uh, optical system that they have, it really, really blows the GoPro out of the water when it comes to straight, off the camera footage. Okay, and then we've got the DJI Osmo. Now, I knew, kind of coming into this test that the Osmo is going to be the best as far as stabilization goes. It's got the three-axis gimbal and everything built into it, counteracts shake, movements, running, jogging. You see a slight kind of up and down movement from me walking. I wasn't really doing the ninja walk as Osmo or DJI refers to it as. This was just kind of walking and jogging like normal. Um, Industry standard, it kicks ass, but of course it's not going to be as good when you've got it strapped to your head or you're trying to do extreme, motion or action. Okay, so here's the test rig I've got. I have the DJI Osmo, and I've got some of the extension arms and pieces on here. So I've got the Sony camera on here, of course, along with the GoPro. I did try to line them up as best as I could, but I really wanted to make sure that they were both attached to the same piece of equipment that I was carrying, so you can really see what things look like truly, when it comes down to when you're walking down the street with this thing or jogging. What does the footage actually look like for, GoPro against the Sony? I have the DJI Osmo on there going, just kind of give a reference to sort of what the industry standard and the optimal best system is. But for not having a gimbal or anything built in, I was really, really blown away by the Sony with how stable the footage is. I think we've all been fairly spoiled with footage that we see on TV and other YouTube videos where GoPro footage is really stabilized, and there's people who edit and really know what the hell they're doing, and they get things dialed in pretty smoothly. But this is what your average user is getting out of the box, and I mean the GoPro footage, it's darn near unwatchable. Um, so take a look at the video and kind of see how everything performs head to head.